Hey, what's up, guys? Today I just want to talk about Lego Star Wars and specifically the large amount of 18 plus sets we've been getting for the last few years and why I think it's an issue. And I do think this is kind of like a wider Lego issue that at some point I'd like to dive deeper into all the Lego themes and kind of look at everything. But for now, I just wanted to focus on Lego Star Wars. It's a theme, probably just right below Ninjago in terms of like how much I care about it. So it seemed appropriate to focus on and made it easier to focus on just one theme. Like you break it down for, I don't know, 15, 20 years of Lego Star Wars. It was, there was definitely like 18 plus stuff, but it was usually just the UCS sets. And there'd be, one or two a year, depending on the year. And everything else would usually be for kids or for kids and, adults as well. Both could enjoy it, right? 2002 was like the one year there was 3 UCS sets. This year that has happened again. So, first time in 23 years, and only the second time it's ever happened for there to be 3 UCS sets. At least, going off Bricklink, because that year it was a Star Destroyer, a buildable Yoda thing, and the Naboo Starfighter with the chrome pieces on it. Now, the past 6 years, it's been 2 UCS sets a year every year. So definitely an increase in like, hey, there's an adult like section of the fan base that wants big sets and can afford them. So they've been consistently doing it. And it definitely was a thing like post 2020. Like they really started to focus on adults and adult only sets. If you look at the breakdown of sets for this year, there's 28 total, 30 if you count the holiday ones, the holiday AT-AT and the advent calendar. For the other years, those weren't like showing up on Bricklink looking through the sets, so 28 or 30 depending on how you count it, I guess. 15 of those are outright 18 plus sets. Now, obviously, the thing with 18 plus is it is mostly a marketing thing, right? It just means they'll do the plain black box because, it's got to be serious and adults can't have fun box art, right? So, like, some of them, yeah, a kid could like, or, a teen with some money could like, but the primary target is an adult who's gonna, stick it on a shelf or stick it, I don't know, at a desk at work or wherever. So that breakdown of those 15, 18 plus sets is there's 3 helmets this year, 3 MIDI scale ships, 5 like of the $100, $160 like buildable characters. So like K2SO, the B1 battle droid, Chopper. Those are all like displayable as characters. Again, mostly it is branded for adults. The Star Wars logo, which kind of doesn't fit into anything else, but that's definitely not something a kid would probably be interested in at all. And then 3 UCS sets. And then there's also the 2 expensive play sets, which I kind of focus under. Not quite the same category, but like those are very much, kids aren't really getting that. Obviously, like even with allowance or gift money, they're not going to be getting a $180 set. So that's a parent will gift them, or that's for adults to buy themselves. And obviously those 2 big play sets this year are both horrendously priced, but either way, they are the big play sets. And it's just a lot. Like that's over 50% if you don't include the holiday sets, and it's exactly 50% if you do. Like 50% of sets now are 18 plus, adult only, kind of meant for display, no figures, no play features. They are adult focused models. You look at last year, it's a similar breakdown. 27 sets, 14 of them were 18 plus, or big play sets. So probably last year I had maybe a couple again play sets. So like 12 18 plus sets directly and a couple of big play sets to get lumped into there. However, you go back 6 years, 2019. 35 sets, and I believe it was that much because they were doing Planet series, so a lot of those are small sets. But either way, of 35 sets in 2019, there were 8 just large expensive sets. 3 of them were actual 18 plus, 2 UCS and then 1 other one. And then 5 of them were just big play sets. That was just the year they had a whole lot of big play set stuff coming out. Overall, a sixth of the sets were large, and only less than 10% were actually 18 plus. Go back 12 years to 2013, you get 27 sets, and 2 of them are UCS, and then there's 2 big play sets. And big play sets, just to be clear, is just anything that was retailing for $100 or more. That's kind of my cutoff between a regular playset and a bigger, more expensive. That's something little Timmy might get as a big Christmas gift type of thing. Just so my definition of what makes a big playset is clear. So it was a gunship, and 1 other was the playsets for that, and then the UCS, and then everything else was just regular old Lego, regular playsets or smaller battle pack stuff. And I just, especially considering, it just seems like looking over that, because I'm fairly confident in saying that anything pre-2020, you look back and it's gonna be that same kind of breakdown, with dips, up and downs depending on the year of how many big sets there are, how many UCS sets there are. But generally, it's going to be pre-2020, 10% maybe, at most 20% of the Lego Star Wars waves that year would be large sets, UCS sets, 18 plus kind of stuff, all combined. But nowadays, pre-2020, and especially I guess these past couple years, it's closer to that 50% mark, that 50% split between 18 plus and play sets. And I just don't think that's right? Because again, these past few years, Lego's been really doing the adults welcome kind of thing. But it is really starting to seem like it is not adults welcome. It's starting to seem like it's adults only, right? Adults are the only ones who can afford this. And it's not, adults getting it for kids. It's serious collectors who are gonna, display this on a shelf. And obviously, proof's right there on camera. I'm not against that. I'm an adult. I display my Legos throughout my room. But, I like the playset stuff. Obviously I've got a couple UCS sets and I've got the bigger 18 plus stuff. But 90% of my collection is the smaller playset stuff, because it's still cool, it's still fun, still looks good, and it's more affordable, and I could buy 3-4 playsets, 5 or 6 depending on price, or I could get the UCS Land Speeder for the same price, or I could get the Optimus Prime, which is a really awesome set, but 180, or I could get any number of things. And I mean, like I said beginning of the video, I think this does apply to more of Lego in general, and at some point I will definitely take the time to research that and break it down and see kind of the numbers, see if I'm right or if it's just a feeling thing and I'm completely off on it. But I guess I wish there was a little less focus on adults, because I think, if you're actually a Lego fan and you're not just oh, I need only the serious adult stuff, I feel you should enjoy collecting the smaller stuff, not just everything just because you can, but the smaller stuff that's cool to you. You should still be able to collect as an adult, even though it's not exclusively for adults. And so I think there should be more of a focus on providing more playsets for kids or for teenagers, with working some small job that doesn't pay them a lot, whatever. Just those younger demographics, I feel they're getting priced out, they're getting phased out, and it just it gets harder and harder for those kids to be fans when there's less and less stuff appealing to them. And like, especially from a wholly business standpoint, you think, you know, for continued business down the line, at some point these adults will either A, potentially grow out of it, or B, just, you know, I mean, as everyone does, eventually pass on. And you're going to need those younger generations to still be fans, but that's not going to happen if there's nothing to get them into the hobby. If there's nothing to make them like it, because there's nothing appealing to them. So that's all I have for this video. Definitely a subject I will more than likely talk about again in more detail, more in depth, covering Lego in general, I'd say, because I don't think it is just a Lego Star Wars issue. But, you know, if you agree, if you disagree, I guess let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.